make a very public thank you to Josh Harwood, whose design chops and collaboration continue to awe and amaze me. And so I just want to say very, very quickly, thank you, and thank you. So I'm here to remind you that we all need to talk to the elephant. In addition to this, I really like elephants. You know they're great listeners. I like to talk about them when they're in the room. We seem to spend an extraordinary amount of time talking about how we're going to eat them here, which is a bit, can be a bit offsetting. But basically, as we learned even earlier from someone else's presentation, elephants make great metaphors. Because I think if you want to create experiences, really great experiences, that get people to do stuff and to feel stuff and to think about stuff and to care about stuff, then you need to learn how to talk to the elephant. And I need to pause, again, for a quick legal disclaimer, which is that my brilliant, thank you, elephant metaphor comes courtesy, of Buddha, but also Jonathan Haidt, who uses elephants to create a behavioral psychology model that helps us understand what motivates us and why we do the things we do. This research has shown up across a wide variety of literature, and much of this work here today has been informed by that. And these are some of the references. So one of the ones specifically was Julia Dirkson's epic work, Designing for How People Learn, as well as Stephen Wendell's Design for Behavioral Change. So I recommend them quite strongly. So, about talking to the elephant. Imagine, if you will, your brain acts much like a rider and an elephant. The rider is the controlled part of your brain, the conscious, verbal, thinking part. The elephant is everything else. You're listening to your gut, you're listening to the elephant. You're trusting your intuition, you're trusting the elephant, the automatic, emotional, visceral brain. The rider brain is rational. This is your plan for the long-term future brain. This is the one cookie, not two part of your brain. This part of your brain plays the long game. The elephant, however, the elephant works in the now. It likes the familiar and the comfortable. It seeks the pleasurable as well as the novel. It is by no means stupid, though. There's this huge growing body of evidence that says listening to your gut is a very, very successful strategy, which makes sense, for this is the part of your brain that makes sure that you can stay alive long enough to actually eat all of the cookies. So the relationship is this. The elephant wants, the rider restrains. And this is an important relationship, like important in terms of evolution important, because we have the ability to sacrifice short-term wants for long-term gains. And this is why we test kids with marshmallows at a very young age, because the greater willpower they have then actually shows up to be much more successful later on. This ability to central and control our self-preservation and to secure really good rewards for ourselves is part of the reason why we have moved so quickly as we have. As a result, because we have this rational rider yapping away in our ear about all the rewards we're going to get that we can accrue through serious and very conservative living, it's very easy for us to think that our verbal smarty pants thinking brain is actually talking to us. We think it is in control. And sometimes it is. Sometimes the rider and the elephant both want to do the same thing, and when they do, it feels effortless. We are in flow. But sometimes the elephant wants to do something else. And when the rider and the elephant don't agree on the intended outcome, when this happens, guess who wins? Every single time. When the elephant really wants to do something, the elephant is going to win. The elephant is bigger and stronger. Getting your elephant to do something it really doesn't want to do is emotionally and cognitively exhausting. Willpower is strong, but it only works in short bursts. It gets used up really quickly. So unless you can reward the elephant with your burst of willpower, you're not going to get very far. And it kind of reinforces how little brain power we actually have. Our brains are constantly working to offload all cognitive effort. And it takes every opportunity to do so, and these decisions show up in a wide variety of ways. For example, Chris asked us to tell him what our favorite thing was. And I didn't really go out and start researching stuff, even though it looks like this huge laundry list of things. Thanks, Chris. It was rather, I had a moment of panic in which I went, oh God, they're going to figure out this complete design fraud based on the choices that I've made. But at the end of the day, my brain really refused to tax itself into any real thinking this through, as also evidenced by the large laundry list. Instead, I sort of checked in with a pal and just sort of did what she told me. The elephant went with those responses, and then the rider came up with a justification on why these things were true. So when we design, bear in mind that those who are viewing your designs are judging them immediately, and often against criteria that you have no idea about. If there was ever an argument for user research, neuroscience has given you that reason. We have to go out and find what positive association, what hooks, what likes, what dislikes our community has if we are going to convince them to change. And look, I realize that this type of design reminder about how we have to design for the elephant and the rider isn't really introducing anything radical for the future. But what I find really compelling about this research is that it doubles down on our core principles, our core design principles, those steps and those skills that often get lost when we are chasing the new. The most important of which, of course, is don't discount the really trivial stuff that affects our behaviors and our outcomes and our actions. Spend the time to think about them early. Think about what those things are. And then make it easy. We have so many things going on simultaneously that our elephant is going to take every single opportunity to lighten that load. We're not going to read every movie title in Lightbox. We are going to find we are going to find the title that is good enough, and we are going to use that as our Friday night binging. Or alternatively, we're going to head down to the water hole and hear what all the other elephants have to say. Make your designs successful. We don't naturally gravitate towards failure, no matter that all the buttons and t-shirts and bumper stickers say that we should fail forward. We don't really like to fail. We don't get our rewards that way. People throw things and point and say that we're not doing things really well. We like to be successful. So set a good challenge and then reward us and give us a lot of praise. You could do that by clapping. Make it fast, right? Let me reiterate how much we all have going on. Never mind, Emma just told me I'm out of time. Urgency matters, and respecting our customers' time is imperative for providing good service. Our design has to start reflecting this. And the best of all, make it familiar. Elephants inherently like things that they've done before or that they're good at. And the great news for us is that this makes our elephants predictable. We know what they're going to do. And then finally, beauty. Oh, beauty. In a room full of designers, I know this resonates. I've watched you all debate for hours over the thickness of a line and the amount of white space. But beauty drives us. For my content peeps, it's the lilt of a well-tuned phrase. For my IX pals in the back there, it is the elegant and seamless interaction that gets them plotzing. The other day, actually, we stopped a meeting to drool over the curve of a handle on an Italian casserole dish. Beauty drives us. But alas, it's also in the eye of the beholder, so continue to hold those decisions lightly. I don't have any specific work to demo how this shows up. If anything, all of the talks today demonstrate how these core principles show up across our changing landscapes all the time. Rather, I wanted to introduce why it is so important to think explicitly about these things. I get a real thrill when I walk through the studio or I go to a meeting and I hear people talking about how they're going to talk to the elephant or how they're going to connect emotionally with our customers. It means we're not getting distracted by the morass and unending complexity of working in the digital space. It means we're not forgetting our core design principles. It means we're still keeping our eye on what our customers need and want and what we can do to provide that. So as we move into the future and we go to work to convince our users, our customers, our people to change because we're alive and we breathe and change is inevitable, be aware of how our minds work and apply that knowledge. Become deliberate about the outcomes you want and develop the detailed plan on how people are going to get there. And then, accept the inevitable changes you need to make as you work to get it right. Thank you very much.